Well, I'm going to try to make this video not too confusing, but I'm going to title it actually Longevity for Cooter, talking about Ben Jones, and all Southerners of high moral character and that display the true Southern ways, which actually goes back to the ancients, and talking about justice, honor, family traditions, truth, integrity, going along with all that. You know, before there was actually, I just want to comment, you know, this is some off the Bible, but before there was a Jesus, you know, the Bible was around, of course, and before people were even aware of the Bible, like you take ancient Roman history, you know, people knew what the Roman honor was. Integrity was valued greatly. Now, here I'm going to show you some ages, and a lot of people think, you know, that are in the Bible, that don't like the Bible, think it's a bunch of crap when they're telling you about, you know, Adam lived to be 930 years old. No, I heard various ages, 920, 970, and all this. Now, I think, you know, the good people who do the right thing should live this long. And some people say no, but, you know, if, you know, would you want to live to be 18 and die there, or do you want to live to be 88, and actually, when Noah, I think he was around 500 years old, he had his first child. I don't know when the hell he built the ark, but he was old. You know, he was up there in hundreds of years. That's probably all true, and there's a reason behind it, actually a scientific reason. In our bodies, and I got to be lengthy on this video, I'm sorry, because it's not like that simple. And yeah, I'm doing this on the hood of my 78 El Camino Posse 4-speed with the cat food on it, because I am not playing phony bullshit here, okay? And, yeah. That is the Forest Cavalry flag flying out there in the distance, okay? 24 hours a day. It's got a light on it. By the way, so the deal is this. Scientists actually theorize and that people did live this long because they were producing their own vitamin C in their body. Now, they took examples where they did a modification on mice, and they made them not be able to produce their own vitamin C, and they lived not even half as long. They cut their longevity down by half. Now, they theorized that if we had copious amounts of vitamin C production in our body, which was probably the case back in the old days, in the biblical days, that we'd live to be hundreds of years old and stay young. Because vitamin C is not a vitamin. It's actually a hormone, and it's an electron donor. As a matter of fact, if you put enough, you know, you'd have to administer this the correct way. If you put intravenous vitamin C in your veins, and you had rattlesnake venom in your veins, the intravenous vitamin C would counteract the rattlesnake venom. As a matter of fact, if you had enough vitamin C, and you were a doctor, and you knew how to administer it intravenously, and you were exposed to radiation from some, you know, nuclear accident like Fukushima or Chernobyl, it would be enough to quench that radiation. It works against toxins, radiation, and also anti-aging. Actually, your cells are like little batteries. They're like a half a volt negative. And what this is, it's an electron donor to your cell. I know people are going to say the vitamin C is acidic and the cells are slightly alkaline. Yes, that's true, but it's not exactly how the whole process works in the body. This actually works as an electron donor. And the problem is you can't get enough of it in your body through your regular digestive system, just taking it orally, unless you're taking maybe an expensive version like Liposomol Labs vitamin C. Now, I found out this little theory here, and it's not really a theory, it's actually pretty well known truth. I got this puppy on this is one version of it, but if you're using it could be a TENS unit, I guess. It could be a regular pulsar. There's going to be probably other products out. These are cheap, you know. These are it's a Beck style zapper. 4 hertz causes what they call transfection. And although I've researched Bob Beck very carefully, and I realized he was a CIA disinformation guy, there's certain aspects of what he said that are true, that I can extrapolate other methods to make things work in the body. Now, that is the transfection process, where this causes transfection in the body, and if you probably see that little red light in there, that's really where you're supposed to have it. I have it usually cranked up. I can actually feel it. But where it causes transfection in the blood cells actually is that it allows them to, it causes them to be able to uptake whatever substance you're taking internally. Well, if you're taking in a bunch of coffee, it's going to accentuate how much of that caffeine gets up in your body, and it's going to really give you a triple jolt. So the guy was telling the truth about, be cautious about what medications or herbs or anything you take while you're doing this. But I theorize that vitamin C really has no upper limit of toxicity. Like they'll tell you, per the medical people, to take 60 milligrams to 75 milligrams a day. Some are saying 120 milligrams a day. Even 1,000 milligrams a day isn't anywhere near probably what you need to be taking. Like for instance, a billy goat that never really gets sick, hardly ever, they produce roughly 15,000 milligrams of vitamin C in a 160-pound billy goat per day. And when they get sick, their body produces 100,000 on their own. Now, if you try to take 100,000 milligrams of vitamin C, it's going to work like X-Lax because your body can't absorb it. But what I've been finding out recently, that with this zapper, I'm able to take a load more vitamin C. I've been taking well over 40,000 a day for the last few days. And I haven't been getting that effect where you got to go run to the bathroom. So I'm assuming that it's being absorbed up into the cells. And that's where you need it. In other words, if our body had the natural capability, like it used to have, like we have all 4 genes to produce our own vitamin C in our body, one of them went dormant. That is why when it started going down to Noah's son, I think he lived to be 675. By the time he got down to Abram, it was 175. By the time he got down to Moses, it was 120. That one gene went dormant. Now, some people have a slight amount of vitamin C capability, but nowhere near like what they used to have. The patriarchs of the old times in the Bible used to live to be about almost 1,000 years old, naturally. And I think the high-tech billionaires that are bragging that they're going to live to be 1,000 years old are probably using something akin to this method here. Now, I do know certain frequencies that I can't reveal that are patented and proprietary information that you can use with Spooky 2 that can actually insert the glutathione gene directly in your DNA. And I can't reveal that because it'll be illegal for me to do that. Now, as far as this, I can tell you about this, and it's only a theory, but I do know that the people have researched these zappers. Like, I think the like 1 hertz actually produces the most transfection. But it's a complicated thing. It's not just the hertz, it's also how much voltage. Look, I got this thing cranked all the way up. A lot of people say that's too hard. I'm using a TENS pad on one wrist to the opposite ankle with my little knife down there on my boot. And, it's going right through my entire body, this 4 hertz. And I've been taking loads and loads of vitamin C. Now, I'm also taking this stuff here. But I noticed, I have experimented with this thoroughly, and some years ago, I tried using 2 of these zappers with 4 hertz, and I got tremendous energy boost. And I was a little bit afraid of like what that was doing because I think it was because of it allows more oxygen up into the cells. And I was working out, I was doing all this yard work out here all day and doing all this stuff, and out there, all this junk. And I still was able to work out 3 hours even after midnight at a high intense cardio rate, and I was like, wow. Back when I was in my mid-50s, I was below 10% body fat actually back then, and I gained a whole shitload of weight from slowing down. But I think this is actually going to bring me back up to speed again with the vitamin C, with taking massive amounts of vitamin C. It was kind of weird. I stopped doing this. There was a time when I overlapped. I was stopping doing this when I started getting into the vitamin C. And I did put out a theory couple years ago, a few years ago. I wonder if this would work well with vitamin C. It's the transfection process. The transfection means that the cells in the body allow the whatever nutrients you're taking in to be accentuated. It's like there's like a force multiplier. But with vitamin C, you don't have a problem. So if you're putting some of this powder in, like lemon juice, orange juice, and you're drinking that and you're zapping, you're not going to have a problem because, if it makes a multiplier of vitamin C, that's good. Problem is you can't get enough vitamin C. This is like scientists have theorized. This is why these patriarchs in the old Bible lived that long. Now another thing. This was from a guy, chemist, that developed this back in South Dakota, and this is called Willard water, Dr. Willard water. I was taking it, then I forgot to take it, then I started taking it again. I ordered a whole gallon of it. I got the dark with which has the trace elements, trace minerals in it. You got to shake it up before you use it. It was originally developed to clean train parts and engine parts. So if you're out there, you got your catalyst, you're cleaning your Chevy motor, so you used to clean your motor parts with it. But don't drink that part, don't drink the part with the oil in it. But the catalyst is not a nutrient. What it does is it allows the nutrients to get into cells better. And I think it was ABC 60 Minutes had a special on it. I think it was 1980. And they showed it really works on burns, really, too. If you have a burn on your hand or something like that, you spray that junk on there. It heals up without any kind of problem at all. But that's also working along that theory whereby it's allowing nutrients to get in the body into the cells at the cellular level. Now I know live-on lab cells like glutathione, liposomal glutathione, liposomal vitamin C, and yeah, you can buy it. It's not cheap, but probably Ben Jones can afford that, no problem with his congressman retired salary and shit. But but the thing is, when you got people like that are, he's a good. I'm putting this out for him too. I'm putting this out for him, but everybody. See, the more you got, the more you're surrounded by big bucks bullshit. That's what I always called it. We always called it BBB. That's what I always called it, big bucks bullshit. This is low bucks. Don't mean it ain't gonna work. It's just like, I could take a Chevy 350 or 305 or 283 or 327 and that damn bitch will outlast, freaking latest model Tesla vehicle today. But no problem, with the right stuff, That's one reason I always like Cooter, man, because I always into mechanic shit, even though I'm a bean counter, But the little bit of that, when you have that in the water and you're drinking that with, your vital nutrients, is going to help those vital nutrients to get up in your body. And the big one that's anti-aging is the vitamin C. Also the glutathione, but also something like this. I'm not selling this brand, but this is kind of like, I could put out, I probably got 100 different herbs and vitamins inside, but something like this is like a good all-around, food-based blends, orchard fruits, garden vegetables, daily greens, powder, enzymes, bioflavonoids, EFAs, essential fatty acids. It's pretty good, just to make it simple. That and vitamin C, but with the zapper. But if you're taking this, you're using a zapper, and you're taking some aspirin or some other medications, you got to watch, because it'll be accentuated also. So anyway. Let's just put it this way, long live Hazard County, right? And of course I got my little Suzuki thing out there in my Cooter's garage, because actually, back in the day when I was going to college, man, I could run circles around mechanics, and I probably still can in some ways, at least on the old shit. There's my old bike in there with the Confederate flag motorcycle cover. Right, anyway, so this thing's gonna get painted eventually too, with a rebel flag up there in General Lee. And here's my Army of North Virginia flag flying. Of course, here's my rain barrel. It's redneck shit, ain't it? Of course, we got the Marine Corps flag, and we got a stained glass light on it every night too. You know what I mean? So, if I ain't good old boy enough. I mean, I'm from New Jersey, but I mean, shit, you know. Here we got Boots, the Confederate cat. He just came by this morning. Fed him. And here's this one General Lee Drive address, and you know, he's a mechanic too. So, got his little cat heater in there. So, anyway, but this probably will work because, you know, Bob Beck talking about this zapper killing all microbes. That was bullshit. It actually does kill quite a few because the 4 hertz that the standard ones put out, 3.94 hertz. If you look on a consolidated annotated frequency list, there's a long list of microbes 4 hertz kills. Like malaria is actually one of the ones that is killed by 4 hertz, and malaria being a disease of the blood, you know, if you're applying this to the blood, you're going to, you know, I've heard it worked pretty damn good on malaria, which is a freaking bad disease in a lot of parts of the planet, you know. Not over here in the United States, but many parts of the planet. But, you know, also when you're using a square wave, like 4 hertz, it goes up in multiples, odd multiples. So it goes 12 hertz is the next octave up, and the next one is 20. So 20 hertz, it hits, you know, the wave goes like this, and it's weaker as it goes up. But it's also hitting 20 hertz with the harmonics. And if you look at 20 hertz on a consolidated frequency list, that's a real long list too. That's one of the real popular frequencies, like 4 hertz, 20 hertz, 727, I think 802, 880, 465, 464. But this hits a couple of the main ones. That's why it does work pretty damn good. But Bob Beck never said nothing about, you know, using nutrients and the transfection process. And the one thing you really want to use the nutrients with, the transfection, what nutrient you really want to use it with is vitamin C. Because it's like, they found no upper toxic limit. I think it was Dr. Cathcart that was injecting up to 500,000 milligrams of vitamin C in people to get well. Now, when you're taking this, you know, I'm taking it with this because, you know, it's probably going to need, you know, trace elements, copper, things like that. That's going to be in here. That's also going to be in here. And probably another thing good to take is NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine. You know, because that works very well with vitamin C. So is vitamin E, but that's all in here. And that's not the NAC, but I don't want to make it too complicated. But this zapper used, and like the Parazapper has the 4 hertz and the 3.9 hertz and the 1 hertz going at 10 volts. And that may be doing that transfection process also. Because the 1 hertz is actually creates more transfection of the cells than even 4 hertz. Even though it's a lower voltage, it's a equation that works with both voltage and the frequency. When you get up into higher frequencies, you got no transfection. But you want to use that transfection, which means that the cells can absorb nutrients much faster to your advantage. Now, if you're freaking smoking cigarettes and you're taking some kind of illicit drug and you're doing this and you're drinking coffee and taking even aspirin, that's going to be very, very bad. That's going to be very, very bad. But if you're doing like an organic vegetable juicer with fruit juicer and vegetable juicer, all organic fruits, and you're drinking that, you're taking some vitamin C powder in there, and you're doing this at 4 hertz, and you're drinking some of the Dr. Willard water, it's going to be probably a force multiplier of good. And like I said, the reason they theorize, and some scientists theorize, they do know that we probably did, because we do have all 4 genes to produce vitamin C. One of them is in our own bodies. We're one of the few animals out there, we're human, right? It's like certain primates and guinea pigs, certain species of bat, pretty much every animal out there produces their own vitamin C. That's why they live out there in the woods without getting sick. But if you take that capability out of them by, you know, modifying their DNA with new offspring, their lifespan is cut like into like a third of what it is. So that's why they theorize we probably did have copious amounts of vitamin C being produced in our body, and that is why we live that long. So you could do this probably artificially through this you could probably buy maybe I don't know if anybody ever experimented with Live On Labs vitamin C, taking 10 or 20,000 milligrams of it a day. I don't know if anybody ever did that, but that could add up to quite a bit of money. Because you're talking 20,000 milligrams, that would be $20 a day times 365 days. You're talking, over $7,000, $7,300 some dollars, right? That's a lot of money. You don't want to be doing that, right? Is that what that is? Yeah. So, people ain't gonna be doing that. But this is cheap. This is cheap, and I think you might be getting somewhat the same effect. Cause like I said, I took 30,000 in under 5 hours of vitamin C, with pills and stuff, and I was doing this zapper on Sunday, and I didn't have to go run to the bathroom or nothing. And on Monday, I took over 45,000. Now yesterday I took between 40 and 45,000. Today I've been taking some already, but I'm thinking 3 days in a row, and my energy levels are doing good. So hopefully I can put my catalytic converter on this El Camino and quiet down that exhaust. But as usual, it looks like it's going to start getting a little cloudy out there and shit, right? But anyway, it's a long video, but this might be the simplest secrets of the universe, and it's all like redneck logic, man. I tell you the truth, man. I could probably put out every damn doctor out of business in this country, except for getting hit by a truck or falling out of a tree or those kind of injuries. But preventive medicine, I could probably put them all out of business. They won't like that. They're all a bunch of money bastards. Anyway, and also I just want to say this at the end. They got to make moonshine legal again, because I'll tell you what I want to do is when I paint this thing, I want to put on the side of the fender. Well, I'm not going to put an 01 on there. I'm going to put General Lee and a flag up there, but I want to put moonshine powered on each fender. And I'd like to make that a reality too, but boy, that's going to be a mess of freaking laws to go through, so we'll see how that works out.